What's up, guys? Fortune Voyager here, once again with Karma. We are with Jackalmen Games doing a special guest commentary on the Outer Rim Smugglers Solidarity Tournament Finals video. It just so happens that one of our very own, Eric, is going up against the undefeated Vu. And so this is going to be Luke Kit versus Saw and Lando. So Saw Lando is going to be a little bit more of a vehicle and damage from hand type of deck. And as you guys saw in the last video, Luke Kit's just a beat stick. It just smacks you in the face over and over again. And if it really has to, it can play defensively with Kit's ability, but it doesn't really. It's not going to. So who do you think's favorite here, Karma?
Honestly, I think if Eric can get the right stuff down, I think he has a chance. Because it's just that kind of deck that smacks you hard out of nowhere. It just takes something from you or takes something from itself and hits you with 4 to 5 indirect damage, and you're just like, oh.
Or 10 from hand if, you know, you get super lucky.
Yeah, it's very true. It's
so either deck, it feels like it's really just going to come down to card draw, because Blue Hero can shield up and block the indirect damage pretty handedly. But, I mean, you can only block so much when you're dealing out huge chunks of it at a time, so if Eric manages to get that off, he'll be okay. It does look like Eric won the roll-off, so he chose his battlefield, giving 2 shields to Vu, who's going to put it on 1 on each character, and we get a Lando activation as the first action.
Yep, going straight into that 4 resources for 2, which is not bad to start out.
Yeah, that puts him at 4 total resources plus his battlefield, and then Lando's power action, so, you know, he can pretty much play any vehicle from his hand right now if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Luke does roll in. It looks like he gets a blank focus and a shield. And then Saw rolls in for double blanks. So that's triple blanks on the board right now. We do see an easy pickings to remove both of Kit's die, and the double focus, or excuse me, the focus comes down to get more melee damage from Luke.
Yep.
Well, Luke's lightning rod to be specifically. And then we see a vandalize to get rid of the lightning rod. Oof. I mean, he removed 2 blanks to get rid of something that was showing damage, so not a horrible use of it. Vu does get 2 damage through. And we still have a single blank die showing.
Yep, Eric played the N1 Starfighter. With
N1
Lando power
Starfighter does
action.
get played.
Yep.
And it looks like he used the ambush to go ahead and roll it in.
Yep. Then he got sound the alarm straight into right back into the damage.
Right back into damage. And it looks like he's choosing to go after Luke first. Vu claims, grabs a hold of the battlefield, and we get a reroll on Saw's dice.
Yep, hit a resource.
Got some resources, and we move on into the next round. So, not too bad. Vehicle deck got vehicle down. Didn't manage to get any good damage through, but I mean, Vu only got 2 damage down himself, so it was kind of just a, I want to call it a setup turn, but neither deck really sat up. So.
Right. I mean, Vu attempted to set up and then kind of got shut down.
Alright, but Kit, like I was saying earlier, just rolling straight into that damage and a focus. So that focus will let him get out whatever he wants. Luke goes ahead and activates, gets some resources and some shields, and Saw activated over on Eric's end to get some what looks like indirect damage on the disrupt. And then we see some mitigation to get rid of one of Kit's die.
Playing leverage. Not a lot of people use that card.
But in Solidarity, everything gets used.
Yep.
Alright, we saw a discard to reroll, brings in, it looks like a little bit more damage on Vu's side.
Nice. Played with interrogate. Remove one of your yellow, or one of your character dice to remove 2 of their dice. That's not bad.
So Vu gets another.
So he just shut his whole turn down pretty much after that.
Well, I mean, 3 damage is 3 damage, but he did shut down a lot of dice that turn.
I mean, other than mitigation, he's pretty much done as far as resolving anything, so.
Right. And we still have a whole Lando activation to go. I haven't seen the N1 roll in yet, but it's out of camera view.
Yeah, no, it hasn't come in yet. It's still ready.
Lando rolls in, gets overconfident immediately, and gets rid of the damage, and it looks like he has resources down.
Yeah, the 4 for 2.
Which isn't great right now, because I don't think he has any resources left. No, it looks like he did.
Yeah, he's got all this stuff off camera, so it's hard to know.
Good job, Eric. He's got bare minimum 4 resources over there. He does activate the N1 now, which gets it special.
Yep.
Special's not going to help him out too much right now.
Nope. Maybe played a targeting astromech on it, so.
To swap it over to some good damage. Alright, and it looks like that's going to be the reset with 2 more damage coming down onto Kit from the indirect, which puts him at a total of 6. So technically Eric's winning the damage dealt race so far.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look like either deck is really performing the way that their owners would want them to, though. There's not really much down on either side.
No. I think that kind of just lets you know that they're definitely playing to win against each other. They're trying to shut each other down pretty hard.
We do see an Ezra Saber come down with a Saw activation immediately after, and then Luke comes in. What do we got on the board so far?
Got Focus. Looks like the 1 damage on the Saber, 1 shield on Luke's die, and then double disrupts on Saw. And then a blank and 1 resource on Lando for the roll-in.
Alright, so not great. We do see what looks like Synchronicity to get another 2 damage down on Saw. The second chance comes down to give him a little bit more life.
The only second chance you get.
The only second chance. You don't deserve 2 second chances.
2 second chances.
Everyone deserves 1, though.
Yep.
Alright, so Kit comes in. He gets a blank and a damage.
Yep.
And it looks like an indirect on the N1.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Focus was just resolved to get some more good, strong damage down on Boo's side. So he's got a pretty big swing coming right now.
I mean, he's got the damage he needs to put Saw down.
Put him down like the dog he is.
Ouch.
Alright, so
put him down like that lazy eye he's got.
ooh. Don't talk about Forrest Whitaker that way.
That's his signature, okay? The
we
lazy
get a
eye.
discard reroll into another blank, and it looks like some resources and a disrupt. And like you just said, he pops second chance. He doesn't quite put Saw down. He puts him back up to 9 damage. But it was super close. We do see Vandalize. Or no, he resolved damage.
Planetary Explosion.
Oh,
he planetaried
there we go. So he just straight blew up Luke. Luke just got exploded.
Jesus.
Oof.
Yeah, that card, when you get to pull that card off, nobody sees that one coming. Yeah. And that's the only copy you get of it, so you gotta time it. If you want it to be useful.
If you can just one-shot a character, I mean...
Oh, yeah. Vader, you gotta work for it to get him to
one shot. It would have been nice if he had managed to get it out a little bit earlier before the damage got resolved to knock off his second chance. Yeah. But at least he managed to get it pulled off this turn, so he's not too far behind, especially if Lando can help him get out any more of his big vehicles that he has in the deck. Kit does roll into, looks like Resource.
Resource and 2 damage, it looks like.
Alright, Lando comes in.
Getting indirect and damage. Oh, immediately.
And immediately gets removed.
Pacify.
Love those shield tokens made by one of our locals. And speaking of mitigation, Kit's damage has now been resolved against him. So not only did he blow up Luke with Planetary Explosion, but now he resolved Kit's own damage against him.
That's just... Oof. Lando being shady.
Lando doing Lando things. Alright.
Hey, Saw special.
Saw rolls into the special, which can be very deadly. Especially when you've only got 1 character left. Vu re-rolls into another blank. And... what's that card called? Planned Explosion? Rig Detonation?
Rig Detonation.
Yeah, so he just dealt damage to Vu based on how many resources that he had.
Up to the maximum of 5.
Yeah,
and the opponent has to have the battlefield.
So he's up to 8 damage on Kit so far. And he re-rolls again. It looks like he got a Focus and a Resource. So the special was used.
You want to talk about cards that don't get used often, ones to see your opponent's hand.
So what just happened there, Eric played a card with Ambush to get it out of his hand, leaving 2 cards left in his hand. I believe it was a...
Shadowcaster and a
Shadowcaster and Hyperspace jump. So with Ambush, he resolved Saw's special, revealed the 2 cards that he had in his hand, because either one that Vu would have randomly picked would have killed him. So he went ahead and killed him off with that ability and then moved on to the next game.
Yeah.
So game 1 didn't really go as I think either player expected, but the planned detonation, rigged explosion, and Saw special kind of all combining together for those huge chunks of damage that I was talking about.
Huge chunks of damage. It may not have went exactly like one, but it definitely went more in Eric's favor. That's for sure.
Completely. So he didn't get the vehicles out, but I mean, he really has 2 win conditions: dropping big vehicles or just dropping big chunks of damage from his hand. So
either pitch the vehicles for damage or play the vehicles for damage. But
do you think that... So a lot of the power of Eric's deck comes from not knowing what's in it. Once you know that those big chunk cards are there, you can keep them off of him a lot of the times. Do you think Vu having not played Eric before, was there anything that he could have done differently that turn? Or that game?
Honestly, like, when you see Saul Guerrero come down, you already know they're playing high cost supports or something like that. That's going to be damage coming at you because most likely they're going to be willing to pitch cards from their own hand, not really necessarily looking to try to get rid of yours because you may not be playing expensive cards that do any good. So now I would probably be looking like if I had a chance to discard something, I'd probably do it. Just that way, it might be the only high cost thing he has, and it might shut him down for the turn for some big damage.
Gotcha. All right, so we're still setting up for round 2. I think I kind of agree with you. I don't really think there was anything, especially without knowing what was in Eric's deck, that Vu could have done differently for round 1. I think we'll really see how strong of a player he is if he manages to alter his playstyle and take round 2.
Yeah, honestly, I think maybe if he starts to put a bunch of dice on the board and not resolving, I would be looking to get rid of dice off the board to keep him from getting big plays on me.
So, like I said earlier, I was actually in this event as well, and in round, I believe, 5, I went up against Ryan, who was playing a deck a lot like Eric's, and he had the remove all of your dice and deal 10 damage card with Planned Explosion. I get the names mixed up all the time. And he had it in his hand the entire game, and I kept him off of it, specifically because I had played against Eric's deck so much and knew to expect that card.
Yep.
So like I said, once you know that it's there, it's kind of easy to play around.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, into this, it looks like Vu chose his battlefield, so Eric got 2 shields onto Saw, and rolled in
2 indirect with Lando.
2 indirect with
Just
Lando.
got pacified, one of them.
Gives him 2 shields, and we also saw an Ezra Saber come down on Luke. So that one's a pretty consistent upgrade for Vu. He seems to get it pretty often. Luke comes in, gives him the special on Ezra Saber, and it looks like some resources.
Hey.
Saw comes in, gets that blank and that special that we just saw resolve during the last game.
Yeah.
And
See, now he's...
Vu don't want anything to do with that. He immediately hidden motives it, and it looks like it got a resource, but it doesn't matter because Eric discards to reroll back into the special, and
the
it
indirect
like
damage.
Indirect. All right, Vu activates Kit. We get the focus, and we get another focus. And the easy pickings get rid of him. Easy pickings is so disgusting.
And easy pickings is the same thing easy pickings last round, which was 2
for
last game.
We saw a resolve on the Ezra's lightsaber to deal 2 damage. Is that supposed to be unblockable? I don't think it is.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get to do...
You just deal 2 damage.
You remove one of their resources if it's on Ezra.
If it's on Ezra, yeah.
But
nobody actually plays Ezra, so...
Nobody ever plays Ezra.
Poor Ezra.
Nope.
Not only does he get the worst start in the game, he gets some of the worst cards.
Shunned for days. Even his new one, I don't really care for the art.
It looks like we got a discard to reroll into what looks like a disrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And did we take a resource? No, we took shields.
Yep. I don't blame him. Playing a lot of indirect damage, so the shields can come in handy.
Yeah, shields are definitely the way to go versus an indirect deck, because until you get those big chunk cards down, you just laugh in their face as they slowly ping away shields and generate them back. Alright, so we're setting up for the next round now. It does look like Eric claimed at the end of the turn. I forget what battlefield Vu's playing, but I want to say it's Theed.
It looks like Theed.
And we do get an initial activation from Lando.
Oof.
Gets the 4 for 2 and the 1 resource.
Mm-hmm. I mean, from the looks of his hand, he's probably going to take that money. Oof.
And we get the double blanks and, what is that, 2 shields?
Yep.
Alright, so he does indeed take that money. Puts him at a total of 5 for the round. I don't know if he had any at the end of last turn because they're kind of off the screen there.
Yeah. I mean...
He's got bare minimum 5 currently.
Mm-hmm.
Kit rolls in. He gets a focus and some resources.
Oh.
Saul rolls into those double specials, though.
You do not want to see that.
So Eric's hand is kind of full at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to resolve the specials, at least not on myself.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You can also resolve them against your opponent.
Yes.
To try and just discard cards from their hand, too, and get some free damage out of it. So that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I agree.
What's happening here? It looks like he's removing one of his die to resolve Luke's die against him.
You played double cross.
Yeah, good old double cross. Oh, that's right, because Luke can only...
It can only be as you choose when you resolve.
No.
It's not just... Are you talking about the
Luke's character die can only be resolved as melee by the controller of Luke's card.
Gotcha.
So when double cross gets used...
He had to use it as
shields. He
shields.
has to use it as shields, yeah.
I don't know if that was his intention to make it as shields, but that's what he took.
I mean, shields aren't a horrible choice. It also blocked some of the damage that was on the board, so...
Mm-hmm.
I'd call it like a 4 damage swing, honestly, because he stopped 2 damage and blocked 2, so...
He used the special, but I can't see the card that he lost. It was an upgrade.
It kind of looks like an Obi-Wan saber.
It is. You're right. You're very right. So that was 3 damage. And a card gone. And the
That's
only
right.
copy he had, so...
And we get Qui-Gon saber dropped down.
Oh, man. So either way, he was going to be stuck with getting hit with one of those.
Yeah, Qui-Gon saber's pretty strong in any blue hero deck. Obviously, it's stronger with Qui-Gon.
Oh, yeah.
But just being able to regenerate a shield every time you lose one is amazing.
Yep, so Eric dropped the Shadowcaster
All right, Shadowcaster is great to see come out.
with a mod, looks like. I think he had the targeting astromech, so...
Okay. And it looks like Vu claims. So we see Shadowcaster roll in.
Hit the 2 shields. I mean, you only got 1 mod on it, so if you've spent all your money, and most of the sides you can't turn to without being able to pay for them, so...
Honestly, I'd just go ahead and take the shields.
I mean, he's only taken, what, 3 damage so far? I don't even think I'd
I don't
bother.
know. I enjoy tanking up, but that's just me.
Yeah. I think it just depends on where you're at in the game for damage, and he's pretty far ahead.
He is pretty far ahead at the moment. So what did he end up doing with that die? I was looking away.
Well, he turned it to damage, so Luke's at
Okay,
6
Luke's
now.
at 6 now. All right, so he's definitely doing good. The real scary thing about Blue Hero, though, just like Vader, it can just roll out and one-shot you if you let it get its weapons down.
Lothwolf Bond.
And Lothwolf Bond will definitely help with some survivability and getting a ton of dice out there that you have to deal with immediately. So Luke activates, gets a blank, modified side, and...
Shields and resource.
Shields and resource. Kit activates for a blank and a
Blank.
focus.
Hey, those focus come in handy, though.
And then Saw activates. It looks like he gets a disrupt and some indirect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good bit of damage coming down from Vu this turn, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and overconfidence,
Hey.
getting rid of a blank and leaving Saw with...
The indirect side. I mean, at least it's not terrible. You have shields, so you can just block it that way.
Alright, Lando goes ahead and moves in.
More indirect, jeez.
It's almost like the deck's built to do indirect. We see the focus being used to get some really strong damage on Vu's board.
Yeah.
Let's see if Eric's got a second chance to save himself here.
What, 2, 5, 6? It's not enough to kill a character, but...
But it gets you pretty close.
Yeah, and if you can do it before he gets the second chance.
Oh, it looks
Hey,
like
leverage.
he removed it.
That's very nice. That was probably the better choice because you weren't going to get rid of both base sides, so...
Right. Alright. Did Vu pass? Or did he do something that we missed? Well,
Yep.
Eric rolled in Shadowcaster, and it
So
looks
you
like
had
it got
the
at
5
odds.
indirect.
Yeah, and then at odds was just like, nah, we're good. We don't need none of that today.
That card. It turned out to be way better than I really originally expected it to be. Because it's got its moments where it's just like you're kind of staring at it and you can't use it.
But I mean, it is also pretty good against like your big vehicle decks too, because Shadowcaster, Vader's Fist, all those really scary dice have a lot of odd sides.
Yeah, they do.
And the sides
Especially
that aren't
Vader's
odd,
Fist.
yeah, and the sides that aren't odd, you aren't really too afraid of. Vader's Fist rolls in and rolls the 2 resources. You're like,
Well, if it hits the 4-for-1 though.
yeah, but I mean,
It's got a 3-for-1 range, a 3 range, and a 3 indirect.
Yeah.
So those are the sides that are nice to get rid of.
Right. Alright, so Luke activates. We see 2 blanks. And some shields. And then Saw activates.
Disrupt and a resource.
Camera's going a little crazy.
Oof. You got 3-for-1 on a blank though. A lot of blanks. Vu's been
Lot
rolling a
of
lot of
blanks.
blanks.
But I mean, that's really just what aggro decks do. They... Like, I feel like a broken record that I say this so much, but either, unless you're running an aggro deck that has a ton of focus in it, you're going to see more blanks than you're going to see damage a lot of the
Yeah,
times.
don't remind me.
Yeah.
I either get a lot of damage or I don't get a lot of damage.
He did roll enough damage to go ahead and finish off Saw, so now it's just a full health Lando facing down 2 Jedi. He does have a Shadowcaster for backup, but Shadowcaster's not super effective at the moment.
And Vu's got all the mitigation this turn.
All the mitigation. Lando rolled out into some damage, which was immediately removed. We do see an Arc Caster coming down on Shadowcaster, so it gets to roll out and re-roll a die. And it looks like we got...
Yeah, hit the indirect side and then the +2 range side, so...
So not what you want to see, combination of dice-wise, but at least you got some damage out there.
I mean, he's got 2 damage, a blank, and looks like a shield on the Ezra Saber. Some damage is better than no damage, but he's at least ahead this time, because he actually has a character taken off the board.
Right. So he doesn't have enough damage on the board to do the big 10 damage chunk anymore. I don't even know if he has it in his hand, but if he does, he could try and re-roll Lando to try and get the 4-for-1.
Yeah.
I think that would give it to him, if I can count correctly.
Yeah, he has the rig detonation, but I don't know if he must not have the money for it. But he has no money, so it wouldn't do him any good anyways.
Yeah.
It's where you just like truce, and then play rig detonation and make them pay for taking the money.
Right. Truce, die.
Like you wanted that money good.
Alright, so it looks like he resolves the damage, so that must have been range damage on Shadowcaster.
It must have been. It didn't look like it, though.
He does finish Kit off with it, though, so that was... So his board at that moment was a lot better than we thought it was, because I thought that was indirect damage, but...
Yeah, it's a little hard to see some of the dice.
Alright, so Lando rerolls into a Disrupt, I think?
Yes, that I can tell. It's like a little mini explosion.
Vu does have the resource to get rid of.
If they reset.
Doesn't look like Eric resolved it. So like you said, he has that card in his hand, so he might just be wanting to get the extra damage from him having resources.
Yeah, because Vu claims, so I mean, might as well let him get the extra damage on him, because he's down to 1 character, so...
Right. And at this point, if you get 3 damage down by playing it, I mean, that leaves Luke at what, 2 health?
3.
3
he's
health?
12.
I can't count. So we see...
This is not Farm Boy Luke, this is Old Man Luke.
We see a support come down. If I remember it correctly, it's if you roll a shield, you can turn a die showing damage to a blank.
Yes, your eyes... Was it your eyes may deceive you?
Your eyes can deceive you,
yes,
or something like
yes.
that. So it's incredibly strong.
Especially in this deck with Luke.
It is pretty much the entire reason that I lost against Vu in round 4. It just really killed me. But Way of the Light comes down to remove Shadowcaster's die. Poor Shadowcaster's just getting controlled left and right.
Yeah, without that TLT, it's a lot easier to deal with.
Right. Alright, so it looks like we saw a discard to reroll. We got the plus range damage on the Artcaster, and it looks like Disrupt on Lando.
And 4 for 2. I don't know if he needs the money, but hey.
I mean, you always need money in vehicle decks, right?
It's very true.
so
Especially
it
without
like
Saul to throw them at you.
Luke rerolled, and he uses the support to blank Lando. And it looks like we get in the crosshairs to remove the melee.
Ooh.
So that leaves Luke with a focus and what looks like a shield on the board. And then we get a discard to reroll.
Yep. It's got indirect, resource, and disrupt.
I guess Vu passed there? Or, no, that's right. In the crosshair says ambush, because it's a freaking ridiculously broken card.
But it costs 3.
It removes, like, as many dice as you want, though. And it gives you
And
ambush.
So if you didn't get rid of enough already,
you can
get rid of some more. I still got some money left. Let me do it again.
Mark my words, that card is going to be the worst freaking card once rotation comes. I'm still salty about it.
Yeah, it's already in my cross plans.
I don't even want to know.
It's in my plans with...
No.
I got to replace hyperspace somewhere.
No.
So...
No. Alright, so anyways, we're setting up for the next round. Luke's pretty hurt. He's sitting at 8 of 12 damage. He activates.
He's missing more than a hand at this point.
And so Vu grabbed his 2 resources for return, and
he got rig detonation.
Got rig detonation for exact lethal.
That card makes you pay for claiming and trying to get ahead.
It does. So Vu, that was really close. Honestly, he went ahead and activated Luke. That was the right thing to do. Get pressure down. Lando was still full health, but Luke could chunk him down real easily, and if Vu had mitigation in his hand, he was good to go. But I mean, there's really nothing that you can do when you have 4 health left with 4 resources and you get rig detonation.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, it's out of hand damage that you don't expect, and then it just.
And then you're done.
Yep.
Alright guys, that was the Solidarity Tournament Finals. If you have just come in on this video, there are, I believe, 6 other videos, the 5 rounds of Swiss plus the top 4 matches. So go and check those out. If you enjoyed myself and Karma's commentary, feel free to come and check us out over at Jackalmen Games on YouTube or jackalmengames.com to see all of our relevant information on upcoming events, articles that we post, podcasts, all that good stuff. You got anything you want to add here at the end?
No, you pretty much said it all. I'm sad I didn't get to go to the tournament. I had to work, sadly. Maybe I would have brought some different results to the table. Could have been in the video instead of being at work. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's very true. But, hey, we managed to take home first and third place, so...
Which is still awesome. So, congrats on your third place spot, sir.
Thank you. But, all right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you all later.
Peace.